Hey everybody, welcome back to Over Here We Craft for Me. I'm DJ, and in the video you're gonna see in a few moments, we are doing a step-by-step tutorial for our Easter family themed t-shirt. During our live coffee, crafts, and conversations, we made the mama t-shirt for my sister. And in this video, I'm making the companion piece, the baby peep t-shirt for my niece, Milani. Now, in the video, you're gonna get a step-by-step tutorial from how I start designing it, where I got everything from. I even walk you through how to create the design step-by-step in Cricut using the template to make the Papa t-shirt that's gonna be for my brother-in-law. However, I wanna know if you can catch the mistake that I made in the video. I of course corrected by the end, but baby, mama made a real big mistake in there. I left that mistake in there because I wanna make sure that you guys know when you are crafting, mistakes are going to happen. When you are, designing products and making things for your small business, you are gonna run into obstacles. And I'm not immune to those, I make them too. But I also left it in there so that you can see what happens when you come out on the other side of a crafting mistake. So I hope you enjoy the video. I am gonna start on this delicious cup of coffee I made myself this morning, and I'm gonna get to work on my Easter door wreath because guess what? I made one for mom, but I don't have one for my own door. So I'm definitely gonna film this process, and yeah, I'll see you at the end. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm trying so hard to get to 2,000 subscribers, and if you share this video, you can help me get there. So until the next video, enjoy.
All right, everybody, so we are now in Cricut Design Space, and as you can see, we had worked on all the designs in our family themed tee, but I saved the last one for us. So we are going to upload our original design that we got from Creative Fabrica. The link to Creative Fabrica is in the bio of this video in case you want to download the design yourself. So the beautiful thing about Creative Fabrica is it can really serve as huge inspiration for anything you want to try and create. So this is the one that I downloaded. It says Happy Easter. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the size. Now, because I had already worked on this design, I'm just overlaying what I've already created to make sure that the sizing is as close to accurate as possible. When you do this design, you're going to start fresh and measure your shirts that you're going to put it on to make sure that you get the size the way you want. So the first thing that I did is I decided what the word was going to be. You can add more bunnies, or in my case, you can delete them. So I ungrouped the design because it's an SVG, and I deleted the 5th bunny because we don't need it for the word peep. Now I want to bring it all back over together so that I can start to clean the design up myself. I don't need their words Happy Easter because again, we are customizing these with family member titles. But if you liked Happy Easter, you could leave it there. The next thing that I need to do is I need to get rid of the word peep and the eyes and the nose of the bunny because in my design, I want to use a different font with the word peep. So I'm going to select shape over there on the left. I choose a circle. You can choose whatever shape you want to clean up the middle of the bunny image. The next thing I'm going to do is unlock so I can stretch it and make it more of an oval. And I'm just going to put it inside the bunny, cover up anything that I don't want to be seen. Do a little bit of adjustment here. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is we're going to highlight the bunny as well as the shape. And then we're going to go over to the right. We're going to click. And what we want to do is weld this. As you see, I click slice. That's not what I want. So I want to go ahead and I want to weld it because once I do that, it takes the shape and it turns it into the color of the item that it was inside of. So green bunny is all good to go. Now, instead of me doing this 4 different times like I did in the live, I've gotten smarter since then. So I just duplicated the bunny that I wanted after fixing one. And then I'm going to bring them all over and I'm going to line them up so that I can put them back together. So to do that, I clicked on Align and I make sure that I center them so that they're all lined up perfect. Okay, this is looking good so far. So now we have our 4 bunnies. They're clean, and I can start by adding in the font that I'm going to use. Now keep in mind, when I go back and make this for my brother-in-law, I'm going to use my template that I already have. But for the purposes of teaching you how to manipulate the design, I'm going to use the baby peep shirt that we'll press in a few moments to keep me organized with the colors and the wording. So the thing I'm going to do next is click on the word text. And I'm going to enlarge that so we can actually see it. I'm going to spell out the word that I'm going to be creating. In this case, the word is Papa. But you can make this whatever you want. You can make this as long as you want. You can put Happy Easter in the bunnies. The choice is yours. So I did choose a different font for the word Papa just because I wanted to make it a little more masculine for my brother-in-law. So that's why the font looks a little different than the almondine that I used for the other shirts. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn them the color that I need that to be. Remember, that's our inset, and I'm making sure the sizing looks good. You want to check your sizing because each word is going to be different, but you want them to be as symmetrical as possible. Next thing I'm doing is kind of centering it out, and you can do this in any order, but for me, I'm just trying to center the word over the bunnies so that when I add the offset, I can know how high up I need to move the word. So now that we have Papa, we know we're going to change the color of the bunnies. Right now, we're just getting the words together. We're going to highlight the whole word Papa, if I can stop moving it. I don't know why I keep doing that. I swear I know the difference between vertical and horizontal. You can't tell from that, but I promise I do. All right, I'm going to highlight it again. I'm going to click on offset. And because when I did the first ones, I left the offset the way that it was, I'm going to do the same over here. I'm just going to turn the offset the color I need. This helps keep me on track when I go to cut the design. And Papa is now ready to go. Now let's work on these bunnies. We're going to click and we're going to grab our font again. We gotta make this bigger because I can't see a thing. I don't know about you, but whenever the default size comes in Cricut, it's so tiny, I definitely have to enlarge it. Now we know that we're spelling the word peep inside each of the bunnies. Now, if I had been smart, for the purposes of working on it, I would have just copied the bunnies over. But I want you all to see how to make the letters inside of the bunny. So once you get the letter the way that you want it, sized, you want to come inside the bunny and you want to check your spacing. You want to make sure that the letter is not going over the edges or the outline of the image, because if it is, then when you go to slice it, it's going to mess up the bunny image. So I'm just checking for sizing right here, and then decided, you know what, you're going to end up having to do this letter again. So why not duplicate and get them all set up right now? So that's what I'm doing here. Luckily for me, Peep is P-E-E-P, so I can duplicate both of these and go a little bit faster. So there's duplication of the second E. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate the second P, put that in where it needs to go. Now it's time to get the letters lined up. And again, we want this to look as symmetrical as possible. So we are going to use the alignment tool. We're going to hold down our shift key and we're going to click on each of the letters so that we can line them up. And then I'm just using my space bar to move them down and move them slightly over to make sure that they are where I want them to be. The good thing is if you make a mistake, you can always click the back arrow and undo it. All right, looks like we got everything the way we want it to be. And now it's time to slice our first letter. Perfection, we don't need those two, we can get rid of them. Now we'll do our second one. just decided to do all three at the same time, though I could have just duplicated them. Again, I want to do step by step so you can see. Now it's time to pull down all the letters we no longer need and delete them all at the same time. There we go. All 4 bunnies are ready. The only thing left to do in the design when you get to this step is to set up the colors that you're planning to use on your shirt. Alright, so we're going to turn this one blue. The yellow is actually gold glitter vinyl, and the green is actually silver glitter vinyl. Now you'll see when I go to lay the shirt out, I move the colors around a little bit, but for the purposes of the tutorial, that's why you see gray at the end. Whereas on the other ones, the baby one was blue and all of that. I fixed all of that when it was time to press the shirt. But basically, that's how you set up your design. You can change these bunnies to be whatever color you want. You can add whatever kind of lettering you want. It's up to you. So now you see me going back and actually fixing it for the way that it's actually going to cut on the Cricut. All right, so now my Papa version of the shirt is ready, and when it's time to make it, all I have to do is cut it. And that is how we make our peep design using our Creative Fabrica inspiration and our glitter vinyl. Here I want you to see that it was important for us to weld the inside word so that the Cricut doesn't cut each letter separately. Now let's go to our mat. I am using a strong grip mat. That's the purple one. And I'm laying down the glitter vinyl. I prefer strong grip mat when I do glitter vinyl because the material is a little bit thicker, and sometimes on a standard grip mat, at least in my experience, the glitter vinyl can pop up while it's cutting. And I'm not always standing in front of my Cricut machine when my vinyl is being cut. Sometimes I'll set it to cut and walk away, and I've had a lot of catastrophe that way. So I just learned that a strong grip mat allows me to walk away if I need to. Now what you see me doing here is I'm laying down and burnishing down the glitter vinyl we're going to use, and I'm taking it over to the Cricut machine. I'm using one mat to do this, so I paid very close attention to where everything was lined up on the mat, and then I just placed my vinyl in those sections so that I didn't have to have 5 different mats to cut. I just used one. And we are now cutting out our design. Now, if you have multiple strong grip mats or whatever mat you choose to use, you can absolutely put all of that on separate mats. It's just a hack that I learned from another YouTuber that made a whole lot of sense to me. And so whenever I have to cut, that's what I do. All right, it's getting down and it's cutting. And then look at that, y'all. That machine is cutting off center of the line where it's supposed to be. Mistake number 1. As you can see, I did not realize when I laid it down, I hadn't mirrored it yet. So only the top 2 images cut properly. Those bottom bunnies got hacked to shreds. Baby came out okay, our blue bunny came out okay, but that poor pink one and the gold one, yeah, no bueno. So we're gonna take those 2 colors off. We needed to recut the silver and the pink, and that's okay, because mistakes happen. I now know that I had to set them up after I mirrored it on the screen so that my alignment could be right. So that's what you see me doing here. We removed the mistake. We're gonna go ahead and resize and recut the shape size that we need for our vinyl so we don't waste. So we're recutting the pink. And I'm just sizing it up against the one that it made the mistake because we knew the size was right. We just didn't lay it on the right grid line. I'm gonna also size out the silver one because that was what was next. And I'm just using my vinyl scraps that I had left over. Now this works perfectly because we're doing the baby peep t-shirt. And so the sizing is absolutely smaller. And so these is when scraps come into handy. Don't throw those scraps away because you can always use them. Saves more money in your pocket. And y'all know how I feel about saving money. All right, let's get the pink glitter vinyl laid down. And then let's go ahead and get our silver laid down. Now you might be wondering, where's the hot pink puff? We're going to cut that on a separate mat because that material is thinner and it cuts under everyday vinyl. I mentioned that in the live. So there's no way to add that to this mat without messing up the Cricut cut. So burnish that on down, make sure it's good and stuck. And we're going to head back over to the Cricut cutter. It has cut. So now let's go ahead and weave. And now we're gonna have 2 perfect bunnies. I know some people don't like to do weeding with vinyl anymore. It doesn't bother me. I do enjoy it. It's a little extra work, but it's worth it. These shirts turned out so amazing. Now you see me moving a little closer to the camera, but that was closer to my face. You just couldn't see my face off camera because with glitter vinyl, sometimes it's hard to see the cut line, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't poke a hole in the glitter vinyl in order for me to cut out the letters. It was a little easier to see the silver than it was the pink. All right, so now we have all 4 bunnies, and it is time to cut the white puff vinyl that's going to go on the inside. Now, this is an everyday heat transfer vinyl cut, everyday iron on. The reason I have to cut this on a separate mat is because the white puff vinyl that we are using is thinner than the glitter puff vinyl. And so I need to make sure that I have the right setting so it doesn't cut through the carrier sheet. Then we would have to manually line up each letter inside of that offset, and that's more work than I want to do. So we're going to head over to the Cricut Air Explorer 2. It's the same machine I've had for the last 4 years. It has served me well. I change out my blades periodically to make sure that they are sharp and cutting with precision, and I love her. She has not failed me yet. So we're going to go ahead and cut this out. And then we'll head back over to the table to weed it. Time to weed. It's an easy weed. It actually easy weeds like Caesar vinyl does. That's my preferred vinyl. But I love it. It weeded very easily. As you see, I'm able to pull it up. I just needed the picker tool to get it started. And then I was able to just pull it up with my hand and keep it going. So love the vinyl. Would definitely use it again. I'm going to go ahead and use my rotary cutter to save that vinyl because, again, puff vinyl is a little more pricier than regular vinyl, and we don't want to waste it. We never know when we want to add a puff accent to a future project. So we're going to use that and save it. Go ahead and peel the rest of that up and save the carrier sheet with the rest of the vinyl. And then we just got to pick out the inner parts of the letter. Take your time here because you want to make sure that you can see the cut line and you only pull up what needs to be removed, like that little tiny dot in the word baby. And I usually keep my design on the screen in Cricut so I can see exactly what I'm supposed to be pulling up. But sometimes with a bigger project, you may lose track. All right. Now, as I said, I'm using various methods or mediums of vinyl, I should say. So if you guys want a comparison on the different type of puff vinyls out there, let me know. I'm happy to buy different rolls of it and do a comparison and let you guys know my opinion. All right, so now it's time to lay down the materials on the shirt. I always do a free placement first, measuring and making sure that I'm even. Cannot have my little cutie pie niece with her lettering being all crooked. That is unacceptable. So here we're going to get everything laid down and test it, make sure our spacing is good before we head over to the heat press. I'm going to cut away the extra materials just so that it could line up properly. And that's just me cutting away the carrier sheet to the glitter pink puff vinyl. That's our set. how good that looks. And it is not even puffed up yet. It is popping. I do love pink and white together. It's so pretty. So, so, so pretty. Now we're going to lay the bunnies down, just trying to get an idea. And because the carrier sheets can lose their tack as you lift them off and on the mat, I am going to be using some heat transfer tape to stick everything down before I go over to the press, just so it doesn't move. So this is me getting everything together, cutting off the extra carrier sheets from around it. Because the last thing we want to do when we go to press it is, because they're glitter, we want to be able to press them all together. One hit would be great. Now, I told y'all in the beginning, Mama made a mistake. You're about to see how I made the mistake. I'm listening to my good music while I'm crafting. I got one of my favorite YouTubers on in the background, and I am not paying attention. So I'm just a bebopping and cutting, and I'm laying it down. And y'all know that this shirt is supposed to spell peep. P-E-E-P. Look what your girl is about to do. Mess express. Now, mind you, I don't have one of my sample t-shirts in front of me, because had I had either the auntie shirt or the mama shirt, I would have realized that I put the bunnies in the wrong order and did not spell the word peep. Y'all see what I spelled? Do y'all see what I spelled? And there I go, just glittering down the tape, taping it down. I don't even realize that I spelled pee-pee. P-E-P-E, not baby peep. I spelled baby pee-pee. My mom laughed so hard when I told her. And she said, well, babies do that. So you could have left it. I'm like, Mom, we cannot do that. But yeah, y'all, I don't catch it. I'm so excited and enamored with my glitter. I'm so stuck on making sure that everything is lining up perfectly that I don't realize that I've misspelled the 4 bunnies. So just keep watching, because y'all, mistakes happen. But it's okay. It's okay. Once we get everything laid down, we're excited, and we just gonna bebop ourselves right on over to the press, the heat press. In this example, y'all, I am using my 15 by 15 heat press from Heat Press Nation. It was my second heat press. My first one, I think it was an off-brand one that remind me to tell y'all the story how I got my first heat press. I think y'all will enjoy that. I'll tell y'all that on my next live. Let me know in the chat if y'all want to hear the story about how I got my first heat press for free at that. All right, I've pressed the bunnies down. Still haven't caught it. Did not catch the mistake. But I've laid them down. They are popping and looking good. I tack that down. A few seconds. Pop it back up. It's good to go. And now it is time to lay down the puff. Now, from the live, if you guys remember, one of the lessons I said I learned was when you are using different puffs from different companies, they each have their own temperature. They also have their own recommended pressure on your heat press. So that's what you see me doing there. I'm adjusting my pressure. One of them wanted heavy pressure. The other one wanted light pressure. And because this was really my first time working with puff, I didn't realize the importance of that. So in the live, when I did the first part, which is the inset you need to do, I pressed at heavy pressure. When you press puff at pressure that's too heavy for the particular vinyl that you're using, it can crinkle it. Now, it creates a beautiful texture. But if that's not the look you're going for, or if your client wants a smooth puff so that it can look more embossed, you got to get that pressure right. But because this is part of the family tee, and I already made it with the heavy pressure and the texture, I'm going to continue that process on all of the shirts that I'm making for my family. But if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that you're reading the pressure and adjusting your heat press to get the consistent look that you're going for. So you can already tell from a distance that it is popping and puffing like it should. I'm ecstatic about it. It's looking so good. Like, y'all cannot tell from my hands, but baby, I am wiggling. I think it is so cute, and I'm just excited about how she's gonna look in it. I still haven't realized it yet. I'm covering it with a Teflon sheet just to protect the glitter vinyl. I'm hitting the press over there. And I'm neglecting to tell y'all the pressure and everything that I use because I think it's really going to depend on the puff vinyl that you use. So if you want the comparison test, that's where I'll tell you about each pressure and temperature that you should use if you guys want that type of a video. So again, when I did this for the main shirts, I hit it twice because that glitter vinyl needed the heavy pressure and needed to go a little bit longer in order for you to get the real puff that it is able to give you. And now it's perfect. It's looking good. I want to hit it, I want to cool it off because the other thing I realized was with the glitter puff vinyl, it does require a warm peel. So I'm just using one of my oopsie photo blocks to cool it off. And it's so cute. I know that puff in the pink could go just a little bit more, so I'm going to tack it one more time. I don't do it for the full 8 seconds, just a couple. I like to clean up as I go, pop that on back up, and bam, you can even see it from there. I'm loving the shirt. It's beautiful. And now I'm showing you that it puffed, which I'm proud of, but it's around that moment that I'm realizing I misspelled the word. So I saved this part to show you, but I did go back and fix the shirt. I made a whole new one because there was no way to pull it all up. But I love the puff. And this is the recreated shirt, guys. It turned out beautiful. Look at how beautiful baby is popped. It's raised up. I staged it with the mama shirt so that you all could see. I am a true fan of glitter and puff together. I'm going to make more of these. I'm definitely going to do the grandma shirt for my mom, and I'm going to make the papa shirt from my brother-in-law, and I promise to take a picture and show you all of them before I ship them out to my sister and her family. But I just want y'all to see, look at how raised up it is and how puffy it looks. It looks so good, y'all. It looks so good. That's it, money makers. That's our video for our Easter-themed family shirts. Check out the bio to find out where to get the vinyl I used, all of the crafted materials I used, as well as the link to Creative Fabrica. I was trying to add the link as a download for you all, but because I designed it in Cricut, there was no way to give you the free download. So I definitely apologize for that. In the live, I said I would do it, but I didn't realize I don't know how. I tried. So if somebody knows how I can share a downloaded idea that I make in Cricut with you guys as a free download, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to try again, but I couldn't figure it out by myself. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It helps me grow. It helps me make content that you're interested in seeing, and it helps me make content that will help you put more money back in your pocket. Because although crafting is fun, it's a lot more fun when you make some coins. Because over here, we craft for money. See you in the next video, everybody. Bye.